Stop counting your steps for just a moment. I know you have been told that walking is the magic pill for aging. You put on your sneakers, you check your pedometer, you hit your 5,000 or 10,000 steps, and you think, I have done my job today. My body is safe. I am here to deliver a hard, uncomfortable truth that most general practitioners will not tell you. Walking is mechanical. Your kidneys are chemical. You can walk to the moon and back, but if you do not have the specific biological building blocks to repair the microscopic filters inside your kidneys, you are simply circulating dirty blood faster. Imagine a car with a clogged oil filter. You can drive that car on the highway, you can rev the engine, you can keep the tires moving, but does that clean the oil? No. The filter remains clogged, the sludge builds up, and eventually the engine seizes. Your body is that engine. Walking provides the flow, but it does not provide the filtration. For millions of seniors, this is the missing link. They exercise, they stay active, yet their glomerular filtration rate, their GFR, continues to drop year after year. They end up confused and frustrated in a nephrologist's office, being told they are entering stage 3 or stage 4 kidney disease. Why? Because they were trying to solve a biochemistry problem with a pair of walking shoes. After 3 decades as a surgeon specializing in metabolic and renal health, I have studied the populations that defy these statistics. I have looked at the blue zones, particularly in Japan, where seniors over 80 often maintain kidney function that rivals Americans in their 50s. They walk, yes, but the secret isn't in their shoes, it is in their bowls. They consume a specific profile of enzymes, minerals, and fermented compounds that act as scrubbers for the nephrons. They eat foods that actively dissolve the arterial plaque that chokes off blood flow to the kidneys. In this video, we are going to bust the just walk myth. We are going to bridge the gap between movement and nutrition. I am going to reveal the top 5 Japanese super nutrients that you need to add to your diet immediately. We will uncover a sticky, controversial bean that dissolves clots, a sea vegetable that acts as a heavy metal magnet, and the truth about salt that might shock you. But before we unlock these secrets, I need to check in with my community. I read every single comment, so please pause the video for just 1 second. Scroll down and tell me, how old are you? And how many steps do you try to walk every day? Are you hitting 3,000, 10,000, or does pain keep you in the chair? Writing this down helps you commit to a new way of thinking, so please drop a comment now, thank you. Now let's get down to the science. Why isn't walking enough? Walking relies on systemic blood pressure to push fluid through your kidneys. That is good, but the kidneys themselves are made of millions of tiny vessels called glomeruli. As we age, these vessels become stiff, inflamed, and clogged with calcium deposits and microscopic debris. No amount of walking can scrub that calcium away. You need a chemical solvent, you need enzymes like nattokinase, you need binders like alginate, you need the fuel that allows your cells to perform autophagy, the process of self-cleaning. Today, we are going to build a protocol that combines your daily walk with the nutritional ammunition your body is desperate for. We are going to turn your walk from a simple mechanical act into a full-body detoxification session. We begin our countdown at number 5 with a food that almost every Western doctor tells kidney patients to run away from. This is a massive point of confusion that we need to clear up right now. I am talking about miso. If you have been diagnosed with early-stage kidney decline, or if you are just worried about your blood pressure, you have likely been given the low-sodium lecture. You have been told to throw away the salt shaker. So when you look at miso, a fermented soybean paste that is undeniably salty, you probably think, that is poison for my kidneys. Here is the mythbuster reality. Not all salt behaves the same way in the human body. The Japanese paradox is something that has puzzled scientists for years. Japan has a relatively high salt intake compared to the West, yet their rates of hypertension and kidney disease in the elderly population who consume traditional diets are surprisingly low. Why? Because the salt in miso is bound to amino acids and peptides generated during the long fermentation process. Let's look at the mechanism. It is called the gut-kidney axis. Modern science has discovered that your kidneys and your gut are communicating constantly. If your gut is leaking toxins, specifically uremic toxins like indoxyl sulfate, those toxins enter your bloodstream and assault your kidney cells. No amount of walking can fix a leaky gut, but miso can. The probiotics found in unpasteurized miso, specifically the Aspergillus oryzae strains, strengthen the gut barrier. They reduce the production of these uremic toxins. A study published in the Journal of Toxicologic Pathology showed that despite the salt content, fermented soy products like miso did not raise blood pressure or damage renal tissues in the same way that plain table salt, sodium chloride, did. The fermented proteins actually contain ACE inhibitory peptides, natural chemicals that help relax your blood vessels, similar to the medication many of you are taking. The protocol for miso is delicate because it is a living food. Never boil miso. If you go to a restaurant and the soup is boiling hot, the beneficial bacteria are dead. You are just drinking salty water. You must make your soup, turn off the heat, let it cool for 2 minutes, and then whisk in the miso paste. Use a darker, longer fermented miso, aka miso, if you can tolerate the taste, as it has a higher concentration of antioxidants. 1 small bowl a day is the target. You are not just eating soup, you are sealing your gut to protect your kidneys. Moving on to number 4, we have a specific fungus that is often overlooked in the grocery store aisle, the Shiitake mushroom. Walking improves circulation, which is great, but walking cannot easily remove cholesterol deposits that have already hardened on the walls of the renal arteries. The renal arteries are the main highways supplying blood to your kidneys. If they narrow, your blood pressure spikes and your kidneys starve. This is where shiitake enters the equation as a chemical surgeon. The mechanism here relies on a unique compound called aritadenine. This is a bioactive substance found almost exclusively in shiitake mushrooms. Aritadenine speeds up the removal of cholesterol from the blood by changing how your liver processes fats. It encourages the excretion of cholesterol, preventing it from clogging those tiny renal arteries. Furthermore, shiitake is a powerhouse of vitamin D, specifically if the mushrooms have been exposed to sunlight. Many seniors are chronically deficient in vitamin D. Your kidneys need vitamin D to regulate calcium and phosphorus. If you are low on D, your kidneys work harder. I had a patient, let's call him David, 68. David was an avid walker, walked 3 miles a day, but his cholesterol was high and his kidney function was dipping. He refused statins due to muscle pain. We introduced dried shiitake mushrooms into his diet. Dried is often better than fresh because the drying process concentrates the nutrients and the flavor. David started adding 2 rehydrated shiitake mushrooms to his daily omelet. 6 months later, his LDL cholesterol was down 12 points and his eGFR had stabilized. He hadn't changed his walking routine, he changed his chemistry. Your protocol is simple but specific. Try to buy sun-dried shiitake mushrooms. If you buy fresh ones, put them on your windowsill in the sun for an hour before cooking. This UV exposure boosts their vitamin D content by up to 400%. Cook them thoroughly to break down the tough cell walls so your body can absorb the aritadenine. Saute them with a little garlic and olive oil. Do not eat them raw. Now let's go deeper into the Japanese diet with number 3. This is perhaps the most powerful detox agent on our list, and it addresses a threat that walking simply cannot touch: heavy metals. I am talking about seaweed, specifically wakame and kelp, and kombu. We live in a toxic world. Over 70 years of life, your body accumulates microscopic amounts of lead, cadmium, and mercury from dental fillings, old pipes, and environmental pollution. The kidneys are the primary filter for these metals, but these heavy metals are sticky. They lodge themselves in the kidney tissues and cause oxidative stress, killing nephrons. Walking pumps blood, but it doesn't unbind these metals. You need a magnet. Seaweed contains a unique fiber called alginate. Alginate is a chelator. In the digestive tract, alginate acts like a sticky gel. It binds to heavy metals and radioactive isotopes, preventing them from being absorbed into the blood. It grabs them in the gut and escorts them out through your stool. This means those toxins never get the chance to hit your kidneys. It reduces the filtration load significantly. There was a fascinating study involving rats exposed to dioxins and heavy metals. The group fed a diet containing alginate excreted significantly more toxins than the control group and showed less kidney damage. The Japanese population consumes seaweed almost daily, which acts as a constant, low-level chelation therapy. However, a warning is necessary here. The thyroid connects to the kidneys through the hormonal system. Seaweed is high in iodine. Too much iodine can upset your thyroid. The key is balance. The protocol: you do not need to eat a giant salad of seaweed. You need small, consistent amounts. Think of it as a supplement. Using a strip of kombu, kelp, in your soup stock adds minerals and alginates without forcing you to eat the rubbery leaf. Or sprinkle furikake, a Japanese seasoning made of dried seaweed and sesame seeds, over your rice or eggs. For wakame, the soft seaweed found in miso soup, A tablespoon of rehydrated seaweed per day is sufficient. This provides the magnetic stickiness to grab toxins without overloading your thyroid with iodine. You are essentially sending in a cleaning crew to scrub the blood before it reaches the filter. We are down to number 2 in our countdown of Japanese secrets that do what walking cannot. This item challenges the most fundamental advice given to kidney patients. Just drink water. While water is essential for volume, it is biologically neutral. It washes, but it does not repair. To actually heal the microscopic scarring that occurs in aging kidneys, you need a liquid that is biologically active. You need green tea, specifically the powdered powerhouse known as matcha. Here is the myth: all tea is dehydrating. This is false. While caffeine has a mild diuretic effect, the fluid content of tea outweighs it. But the real story isn't about hydration, it is about renal fibrosis. Let's talk about the mechanism. As you age, your kidneys undergo a process similar to scarring on your skin. This is called fibrosis. The delicate tissues harden, turning from a soft, permeable filter into a stiff, scar tissue mesh. Walking increases blood flow, which is good, but it cannot stop this scarring process. The only thing that can slow down or reverse fibrosis is a powerful antioxidant intervention. Matcha is rich in a specific catechin called EGCG, epigallocatechin galat. EGCG is a chemical warrior. A study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that EGCG effectively inhibits the signaling pathways that cause kidney cells to turn into scar tissue. It essentially tells your kidney cells, stay soft, stay functional, do not harden. In regular steeped green tea, you throw away the leaves, losing most of the nutrients. In matcha, you drink the entire ground leaf, ingesting 100% of the EGCG. I want to tell you about a patient, Susan, 72. She was walking her 5,000 steps religiously, but her creatinine levels were creeping up. She was rusting on the inside due to high oxidative stress. We didn't change her walking, we changed her morning beverage. She swapped her coffee, which can raise blood pressure in some sensitive seniors, for a bowl of matcha. The antioxidants in the matcha acted like a rust remover. Within 4 months, her inflammation markers, CRP, dropped significantly, and her kidneys were under less stress. Your protocol for matcha is all about synergy. EGCG is unstable in the gut. If you just drink it plain, you lose a lot of it. The secret Japanese trick is vitamin C. You must add a squeeze of lemon juice to your green tea. The citric acid stabilizes the EGCG, boosting your body's absorption of the antioxidants by up to 5 times. So 1 cup of matcha, warm, not boiling water, and a squeeze of lemon. Drink it in the morning as the mild caffeine aids focus. And finally, we arrive at number 1. This is the holy grail. This is the food that explains why a 90-year-old in Tokyo often has cleaner arteries than a 50-year-old in New York. If you believe that walking is enough to prevent blood clots and plaque, you are mistaken. Walking pushes blood, but it does not dissolve the fibrin webs that trap toxins and clog your filter. You need a chemical solvent. You need natto. Natto is fermented soybeans, but it is completely different from miso or tofu. It is sticky, slimy, and has a pungent smell. Many Westerners hate it, but inside that sticky slime lies an enzyme that is so powerful it is sold as a prescription drug in some countries. Nattokinase. Here is the deep science mechanism. Your blood contains a protein called fibrin. Fibrin is like a sticky spiderweb. When you get a cut, fibrin forms a clot to stop the bleeding. That is good. But as we age, our blood becomes thick with excess fibrin. This fibrin mesh clogs the tiny capillaries of the kidneys, the glomeruli, reducing filtration. It also traps platelets, forming dangerous clots. Walking cannot dissolve fibrin. Aspirin can stop clots from forming, but it cannot dissolve existing ones. Nattokinase is unique because it is fibrinolytic. It actively eats through the fibrin web. It dissolves the mesh that is choking your kidneys. It literally cleans the filter. A landmark study examined the effects of nattokinase on blood flow and clot dissolution. The results showed that a single dose could degrade fibrin and enhance blood flow for hours. For a senior, this is the difference between a clogged, struggling kidney and a free-flowing, efficient machine. Furthermore, natto is the highest natural source of vitamin K2, specifically MK7. Vitamin K2 acts as a traffic cop for calcium. It takes calcium out of your arteries, where it causes kidney damage, and puts it into your bones. The protocol for natto is strict because the enzyme is heat sensitive. Do not cook natto. Do not put it in hot soup. You must eat it cold or at room temperature. The standard Japanese serving is one small styrofoam packet, about 40-50 grams. Whip it with your chopsticks for 50 cycles. The more you stir it, the more the enzyme is activated and the stickier it gets. Add a little mustard and green onion to mask the taste if you need to. Eat this with your dinner. If you absolutely cannot stomach the texture, and I know many of you cannot, you can take a nattokinase supplement. Look for one with at least 2,000 FU, fibrinolytic units. However, the whole food provides the K2 and the probiotics that the supplement often lacks. This is the myth-buster reality. Walking is your foundation. It keeps the pump running. But Natto, Matcha, Seaweed, and Shiitake are the mechanics that clean the engine, change the oil, and repair the parts. You cannot walk your way out of a chemical deficiency. You must eat your way out. To wrap this up, let's simplify this Japanese longevity strategy into a single actionable philosophy for your week ahead. I want you to stop looking at your health solely through the lens of calories burned or steps taken. Those are mechanical metrics. Your body is a chemical laboratory. The next time you lace up your shoes for your morning walk, I want you to applaud yourself. You are doing great work. But I also want you to ask, what fuel am I putting in the tank? If you walk 3 miles but then come home and eat toast and jam, you are undoing the benefits. You are revving the engine while pouring sand in the gas tank. Instead, imagine this new routine. You wake up and drink your matcha with lemon, item number 2, flooding your system with ECG to stop scarring. You go for your walk and your blood flows freely because the natto, item number 1 you ate last night, has dissolved the fibrin webs. Your blood pressure is stable because the miso soup, item number 5, has strengthened your gut-kidney axis. The heavy metals are being carried out by the seaweed, item number 3, and your arteries remain clear thanks to the shiitake mushrooms, item number 4. This is not magic. It is biology. It is the exact blueprint used by the longest-lived people on Earth. They don't have better genes than you. They just have a better menu. I want to reassure you, it is never too late to introduce these foods. Even if you are 80, even if your GFR is lower than you want it to be, your body is responsive. Every time you eat nattokinase, you are cleaning your vessels. Every time you eat alginate, you are removing toxins. You are in control of the input. If you found this deep dive into Japanese nutrition helpful, if you learned something that your regular doctor hasn't told you, I have a small favor to ask. This information needs to reach more seniors who are struggling with confusing medical advice. Please click the share button. Send this to a friend who is obsessed with their step count but ignores their diet. Send it to your walking group. And if you want to master the chemistry of your own body, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell. We are building a community of vibrant elders who refuse to accept decline as a normal part of aging. Until next time, keep walking, but more importantly, keep nourishing. Eat your natto, drink your matcha, and protect your future. I'll see you in the next video.